Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday Tea Time for St Andrews Golf Magazine. This week I'm joined by Les Bailey and Elizabeth Bethel of Pro Golf Now. We'll be discussing the US Women's Open and the LPGA event in Arkansas last week, and we'll also be looking at Tiger Woods' failed comeback at Congressional as well as Justin Rose's win, what that means for him going forward, and we'll be looking back at the BMW International Open in Cologne. And of course, we'll chat about this week in the game as well. But we'll start with the US Women's Open because we weren't here last week. And Elizabeth, you were there, and it was a historic moment for Michelle Wie to finally get that first major.
Oh, it was really fabulous, and and she played so well. I mean, after her failed Sunday at the Kraft Nabisco, to see her play the way she did at the Open, and it was almost like she just couldn't make a mistake. The stars were all lined up for her, and it was quite wonderful. And the crowds were very engaged, and you could feel that the crowds really wanted Wie to win. They wanted that. They were behind her all the way. So it was quite a fine win for her.
And it was a great week for women's golf in general, and to have that star name, as we all said, a star name would emerge and win at Pinehurst, judging by this season on the LPGA, and to have that was great. And the women dealt very, very well with the golf course. If you look at the stats in comparison to the men, it was very, very close. So,
well, I've always said that Michelle Wie had the wow factor that Tiger Woods has on the ladies' side. I don't know if Elizabeth will agree with me or not, but we've needed for her to win. I mean, Stacey Lewis winning is one thing, but Michelle Wie winning is really something else.
Well, yeah, and then we have 2 days of New York, and Wie in stilettos, and Wie towering over everybody. I mean, she's a monumental symbol. And it's not that I don't agree with you, Les. It's that I hate to see one person dominate a tour, and so I don't want that Tiger factor on the LPGA.
Set your desires aside and think about the game, though. The game needs your LPGA game needs Michelle Wie to win. Now she doesn't have to win 91 tournaments, but just the wow factor that she brings with her is, and we've been waiting for 14 years for it, or 10 years, I guess.
Well, we got it. We
finally got it.
Yeah.
But it is great to have a competition generally throughout the season where we've got so many good players competing each week and winning each week, and then obviously move on to last week, and that was evidence again.
No, wait, Matt. Wait, Matt. Let's mention Stephanie Meadow before we leave the Open.
Sure, we're not necessarily leaving the Open.
Okay, but I just want to put Stephanie Meadow up there with that solo third place finish, the round that she played with Corey Webb, where she outplayed Corey Webb. I mean, what a wonderful newcomer! What a wonderful first pro event.
Yeah, that's more impressive.
It's very impressive. Now, I'll give it back to you. I just wanted her on the table.
No, it's not not necessarily leaving the Open, but the theme of all the top players coming together and winning, competing, and it happened again last week. Michelle Wie looked so much for 2 rounds like she was going to dominate and win, and obviously tiredness or whatever. She was the only player over par, I believe, in the top 30 on Sunday. So
yeah.
And Stacey Lewis came through and won again. So another great week following up that US Open. You'd never get that on the men's tour, where the week after the US Open, all the top players in the world turn up.
No, and I think that's the difference between the PGA and the LPGA is the LPGA turns up and turns out consistently. They've got this real loyalty to the tour itself.
Excuse me.
No problem. So what's the score, Laz? Sorry,
I had to sneeze there. It's 2-zip. Belgium just scored again. It's over.
Oh no, what a shame.
Yeah, I can see your pleasure.
Well, a European team had to win eventually. They've all been dropping like flies at the moment.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving back on to the women's game, and obviously Stacey Lewis, she's bounced straight back from not quite doing it in the U.S. Open. She had a chance, didn't she, on the Saturday?
If Stacey Lewis wouldn't wait until the last round to start playing golf, she'd be a lot better off. I mean, to win the Arkansas event on the 72nd hole she's just dragging her tail. I want her to play harder on Saturday.
But then, I mean, we're also coming up towards the Women's British Open, and obviously last year she won with an amazing finish.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to be a player like that wins in a spectacular fashion because people remember you for it. You know?
Yeah, well, I suppose.
Yeah. I think that she's shown that she got to, when she needs to produce that moment of great golf, she does it under the most extreme pressure.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
I still hold with the chip shot and putt that she made at St. Andrews last year was two of the nicest golf shots I ever seen.
Yeah.
And under the pressure she was under to win that tournament, and when she drained the putt, I thought, wow, that was clutch.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly was. I mean,
she can play under pressure like nobody else.
Do you
Maybe
think
she
now,
needs that.
Do you think now that possibly we have quite a few players that are in contention every week, but a rivalry developing between Lewis and Wee, potentially?
That'd be great, wouldn't it? I mean, that'd be great for the LPGA, wouldn't it? As far as I'm concerned, it would be great.
Co's in the mix. Don't leave her out.
No.
Yeah, I think Lydia just needs to. She still kind of needs a year to percolate, you know.
Yeah.
That's my opinion of Lydia Ko. She's really good. She just needs to, you know, mature just a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. Everybody needs to get to a certain stage where they can cope with different aspects of the game and perform consistently. But she is up there all the time. So
yeah,
you know,
she's the Jordan Spieth of the LPGA. She's up there all.
Yes,
all
she is.
She can't quite get over the hump now that she's turned pro.
She will.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just give her time.
She and Spieth both, and they may not bring the Tiger factor, but they're going to bring a very consistent winning game.
I don't think that anybody brings the Tiger factor. The Tiger factor was one person 18 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, ever in history, no player has had such an impact on a sport as Tiger Woods.
Well, I wouldn't go quite that far. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's been great, but for some of us older people who remember the days of Jack and Arnie and Lee and you know, Gary Player,
sure, but that was
there were some wow factors in those days too.
There was, but the actual impact on the industry is monumental. It's far greater.
Well, sure, it's a different world than the 1980 U.S. Open when Jack and Isao Aoki went head-to-head at Baltusrol. That was a very captivating tournament that had people had butts in seats for the entire weekend.
Yeah. I'm sure you're not wrong, but I would say that so there really isn't going to be. There might be a player that comes along that is better than Tiger Woods. I don't doubt that ever. That could happen. But Tiger had a mix of things, didn't he? Really, and his personality.
Yeah.
You know, everything. He had everything come together at the right time. Nike were looking to get seriously into golf as well, and, you know, so.
Well, you know, yeah, and he hit the road with a $40 million check and didn't have to swing the club one time. I mean, that took a lot of pressure off of it.
Yeah.
You know, perform.
So I think to look for that Tiger factor on the LPGA Tour is possibly not the right idea. But I would say that what's happening now with Coe, with Stacey Lewis, with Kari Webb, with Michelle Wie, with Peterson. Who else is there?
Well,
in Park. I mean, there's so many great players at one time.
I think here in the U.S. I just think here in the U.S. that we're tired of seeing the South Koreans dominate that tour, and it's time for some American girls to step up and start playing good golf.
Well, the Americans have won the last 2 majors.
Yeah, that's a start. You got to win two before you get number 3.
Don't you think the Americans had to really get their tails whipped at the Solheim to put it together and start putting out some effort?
I think that was the Pearl Harbor of the LPGA. Is
I do too.
I think that woke up. Number one, woke the girls up, and number two, woke up some of the American audience to say, "Hey, these girls are pretty good. Let's get behind them and start supporting them."
Yeah, I think that when you look 5-10 years down the line, that will be possibly a bigger win for American golf than it is for European.
Yes, absolutely. Even though we lost.
We've got some good young ladies coming through that team, but possibly our best players won't have been in that team, the likes of Stephanie Meadow. So I think it really has given them a motivation factor to go out there and say we've got to perform, and the likes of Lexi Thompson, Stacey Lewis, and Michelle Wie, they're doing it. So, but it was a great fortnight for golf in general, having the back-to-back U.S. Opens.
I thought fortnights were only in tennis.
Well,
at the All England Club.
I think that is a great idea that should happen as we discussed. The U.S. Open could do it, but obviously there's climactic issues if you're in the hot area where the grass needs to be cut, and as you were saying, so.
Yeah. Like my yard.
Oh my God.
You know what I meant by that. I wasn't being disparaging in any way. I was just saying.
Yeah. I do.
So anyway, moving on to another failure, Tiger Woods, and I didn't see any of it because I was otherwise engaged in Germany. But
I thought you were going to talk about the number 5 player in the world that laid an egg on Sunday. Yeah.
No, we'll get on to him. But Tiger Woods, I mean, he had 4 consecutive bogeys in the second round. He's missed the cut again. He's obviously come back. I mean, he's almost admitted he came back too early because it was a new sponsor for his tournament. It's bizarre. I mean, it really was completely out of the blue when he said he was coming back.
Yeah, I think the world was expecting him to maybe make a show at Royal Liverpool.
Yeah.
And that was that was going to be the comeback, and that was even in question. But yeah, he looked really out of sorts. But he said he made it through without any pain, and he said all the right things. He just didn't have any. I mean, you could tell he hadn't played golf for a couple of months.
Yeah, I mean, Congressional's hardly the best course to come back to.
Yeah,
played golf in a couple of months. But it raises doubts, really. I mean, he's surely got to play some golf before the Open.
Well, he's not. He's not in. And a lot of people were saying, well, he should have been playing Greenbrier this week. He never plays the week before the Open, but or before any major actually. But yeah, he's taking his kids on vacation, and when you got the money that Tiger Woods has, you can do just about anything you want to.
That to me almost is a sign that Tiger's admitting the not the end, but he's had God knows how long to take his kids on vacation. I mean, you just come back and you just start playing. You've got a major championship to prepare for on a links golf course, which you wouldn't have played on now for a year. On a golf course he's won on before as well. I find it absolutely bizarre that he's not over here already preparing.
He doesn't have the fire in his belly that he used to have and that's the one thing that bothers me. That I think we'll see it once he starts getting competitive again. But right now, it was the other day he would hit bad shot after bad shot and just say, oh well.
Yeah.
In baseball, we call that a rehab start. They send a pitcher down to the minor leagues to get beat up for a couple of games just to get him back in game shape. And that's basically what he was. I mean, he was on a golf course where he was totally outmatched with where his game was at.
Yeah.
There was some of the best golfers in the world that were outmatched on that golf course, not just Tiger Woods.
Well, no, it was a big tournament, and only 4 under par one, so that shows the major championship credentials of the course. And obviously, it was a major champion that walked away with the win. He bogeyed the last and dropped into the playoff. But
I was joking with my brother-in-law. I played golf today myself, and I was joking with my brother-in-law. I said, "Did you see where he was on the second time through 18 though during a playoff? He was way over in the middle of the fairway. Just watch. He knew exactly what the other kid was going through.
Yeah.
Over there on the left side, trying to get through that hole and not get in that pond on the left side."
Well, that shows his maturity, the fact he's won a major, course management. He's not going to make the same mistake twice. And Justin Rose now, he's won this tournament twice at 2 different golf courses. He won at Ronin a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And it's another big win for him, isn't it? Going forward, top 10 in the world again.
Well, if you look at the golf courses that he's won on in the United States, he's won on some pretty tough golf courses. I mean, yeah. He's won on Marion or Romac. He's won at Cog Hill, and
Village.
So he's starting to get the moniker of the guy that's able to play the tough golf courses. And
yeah, very much so. And he will be a good bet for the Open Championship. I would say he always starts well in the Open, but generally tends to fade away. But I think this being a wide open championship as it is, I think he's a good bet. And just a side issue, I was looking at the European and the US Ryder Cup rankings while I was in Germany, and Tom Watson's got a very hard job because Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods are outside the qualifying spots at the moment. Right now, would you select either of them in the 3 spots as wildcards?
Well, and his other problem is he can't get his some of his really good players that just aren't winning right now, like Keegan Bradley. He needs for Keegan Bradley to play his way into that team because you got to know that he wants to take Keegan Bradley to Glen Eagles with him, and he needs for him to play his way on that team, so he's got the freedom to pick a Tiger or a Phil or whoever he wants to put on that team.
Yeah.
I really think we need to shelf that discussion until after the Open Championship. I think the Open Championship is going to show us something about Phil and Tiger both.
Tiger still won't be on the team because he'll miss the cut, but
Do you think he's going to miss the cut at Hoylake?
I think it's a certainty. He's not playing enough golf.
You get out the betting shop, and I'll take 5 on that.
Oh, I'd go with Matt in a heartbeat on that.
Well, I don't think he's going to win the tournament, but I got a feeling he'll make the cut.
You think he can get it together? See, I don't think he cares anymore.
Well, it's a major championship. He didn't care much about Congressional, but he's still trying to catch Jack's record, which he needs to get it in gear if he's going to do it, because the sand is running through the hourglass,
Yeah.
Very much so. So, obviously, last week there was another tournament on the European Tour, the BMW International Open, and I was there for St Andrews Golf Magazine throughout the week, as you would have seen, taking loads of photos, doing quite a few interviews, lucky enough to speak to Sergio Garcia. And he almost said the same as you, Les, that he wasn't going to speak about the Ryder Cup until after the Open.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing tournament, and I've been fortunate enough now to have gone to 4 tournaments, and well, 3 or 4 tournaments anyway, that have all gone to playoffs. Three European Tour events have all gone to playoffs, and this is a 4-man playoff between Henrik Stenson, Fabrizio Zanotti, Emiliano Grillo, and Rafa Ribeiro, and it was a credible finish because Ribeiro was out of it, done. And from nowhere, he came in with I think it's 3 birdies and an eagle to come back and get in the playoff. And Stenson as well, he almost looked like he was going to win it. Gregory Havre, not me.
Yes, Havre.
And Havre, it looked like it was going to be between him and Stenson, Havre and Stenson, but they obviously half the first hole, all of them, and then it's Havre that was eliminated at the second hole. Ribeiro going for the water, eliminated at the 3rd hole. It was an amazing playoff, and then Zanotti came through to win, and he came into the clubhouse and he was applauded, and it was a wonderful win for him. But I don't think anybody was really rooting for him.
Yeah, probably not.
I think being world number 2. I think most people wanted him to come through and win.
And the good news is Stenson is starting to play well.
He is.
I wouldn't. It ought to be a nice battle at Hoylake with Keimer, Stenson, and now Justin Rose playing well.
Yeah.
It ought to be a pretty good tournament.
Well, I mean, obviously, we're not going to discuss too much about Ryder Cup, but
Here we go.
Our team has started to take shape. Justin Rose has won on the PGA Tour. Keimer's won the US Open of the Players. Stenson's coming into form. So our big players are starting to play.
And we know what Dubuisson can do in match play. So
yeah. So it was a struggle for the first 4 months of the year. Our players were doing nothing, but they seem to have got their act together now. But the European Tour again showed its strength in depth. Was absolutely remarkable. I've played that golf course, and I can tell you that it is one of the hardest golf courses you'll ever play. If you miss the fairway, it's a thick rough just off the fairway, US Open style. And
are you talking about Glen Eagles?
No. The German course last week.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
And then the high rough just off that. I mean, for 10 under par and not be in the top 50 is absolutely mind blowing.
Well, the good thing, the good news for us is he's from Chile, he's from Paraguay, and we won't have to face him in Glen Eagles.
Oh, God.
Well, you never know. He might have an Irish grandmother.
I was joking today about again with my brother-in-law that I got a text message on my phone that they were extending. They had settled for 2017 and 2018 to play the Open Championship at Birkdale and Carnoustie.
Yeah.
And I said, I think Tom's exemptions run out, but wouldn't he love to have another shot at Royal Birkdale?
Yes.
But by 2017 he's going to be about 67, 68.
Well, the RNA I think have given him a special exemption to next year here, so. I think next year would be his last one.
Right, but I wouldn't be, if it was me running the Ryder Cup team, I might suit him up to play at Glen Eagles.
Well, you might need him soon.
I might need him. Yeah, we're going to suit Tom up and let him take a whack at it. He can't be much worse than Bradley's doing right now.
No.
And we can't get Bubba Watson to get serious about anything.
Well, he's won the
So,
Masters now. He's going to have a chill for a couple of years and then win another green jacket. He's like
yeah, but
the American Cabrera.
he went. Everybody thought he'd changed his attitude, and he went down to Pinehurst and laid an egg, and went back to the old. I don't like this golf course. It's too hard, and I can't just grip it and rip it like I normally do, and I don't like the place. I'm going to miss the cut and go home. And that's just exactly what he did. Big crybaby, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh my God.
Well, he is. He did the same thing. He did the same thing at the Olympic Club after he won the
I know he
Masters the
did.
first time.
I know he did.
He went out there. He hit a couple of shots. I don't like the golf course. It didn't fit my eye. I don't want to play well. I'm going to miss the cut, and I'm going to go home. And that's exactly what he did there. So I'm not sure if I want to. Well, he's going to be on the team anyway, so if I want to spend a pick on him, though, to go over there, because he's not going to like Glenn Eagles, man. If he didn't like Pinehurst, he's going to have a lot of trouble with Glen Eagles.
Yeah, I think he is.
and the cold weather and
Oh, it's not so cold now, I have to say, and October's supposed to be quite nice, so the end of September.
Right.
For a boy from
I've
the Florida
been-
Panhandle, it's cold.
Yeah.
I've been over there. I've been over there, Matt. You can't fool me now.
Don't be talking about it's not cold. When everybody
Yeah,
has on a
right.
sweater, it's cold.
So coming up this week, I have to confess, it's Greenbrier this week, isn't it? I'm so tired that I don't know which events is which. But we've got the French Open as well in Europe as well.
Yeah, the Oster de France,
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited about the Greenbrier because number one, Tom Watson is going to play in the tournament, and number two, one of your boys, Nick Faldo, is going to play. Sir Nick is going to tee it up.
Yeah, it's
I'm
a strange
not
one,
expecting
isn't
much
it?
from him, but I think he has a school there at Greenbrier that,
Well, he's playing in the Open as well, isn't he? So
and he lives there, so he's probably getting ready for the Open. Doesn't he have 3 claret jugs?
he does, yeah.
Yeah, I thought so, and I thought so. I don't think his game is ready for
Oh,
for the Open, but
no, I don't think you're going to see a Tom Watson or a Greg Norman up Nick Faldo. He's
No.
very, and he's actually doing in some respects what he said he'd never do, which is become a ceremonial golfer. It's just showing up for a few pounds or a few dollars, because I don't really see what he adds to the field in many ways this week, and really takes away an opportunity from a young player, really, doesn't it?
yeah, I always liked watching him play. I watched him play in person twice. Him and Nick Price at the Colonial one time, and he was a heck of a golfer. He just
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, he was the
Same thing every-
inspiration for me to take up the game. So, but at the age of whatever he is now, he hasn't played for years either. So,
well, he's never been the same since what's her name got off his bag too. What was her name?
Trace Simpson.
Yeah. That was a nice team there that
Yeah,
that won some golf tournaments,
Yeah, they certainly did.
Yeah.
And she was with Stanton for a good chunk of time as well, and they were successful
Yes,
together as
yes.
well. So, it's certainly not a fluke. So,
Hey, We had all 3 men's tournaments last week went into extra holes. The BMW, the Congressional, and then the Senior Tour went in with Bernard Longer went into a playoff.
You want me to comment about that? You want me to comment about how the Senior Tour delayed the broadcast of the Arkansas? You want me to comment about that?
Yes. Yeah.
About how nobody cares what happened on the Senior Tour, and the entire population of LPGA fans was only getting coverage of the last 9 holes of Sunday, and we had to watch Bernhard Langer play in an overtime sudden death playoff that we didn't care about. You should have seen Twitter. You should have seen what we were going through. I represent a collective suffering that is almost beyond compare. Don't talk about that overtime game.
My fondest memory of Bernhard Langer was when he missed the putt in North Carolina that year.
South
I think it was 91. It was 91 when he missed the putt. I think it was Kiawah Island, wasn't it?
It was Kiawah Island, yeah.
And I was in a pub, a St. George's pub in Eatontown.
Yeah.
And holy crap! I couldn't repeat on the air what was said when he missed that putt, but it wasn't pretty.
Well, we'll leave that subject for another time.
Yeah, when we're not on the air.
But I do happen to agree with Elizabeth that Champions Tour golf is for the avid golf fan, and to be honest, I know. I mean, the senior players is a major, isn't it, or was?
Yes.
Hey, you were crowing about it when Colin Montgomery won.
Yeah.
The other day.
Oh, sure.
You were up on the barn on the barnyard, and you were crowing about it.
I was. I'll confess that, but it seems detrimental to the development of the game if that is ahead of the women's game.
Yes, I agree. I won't hear any peace from Elizabeth unless I agree with that.
I'll start writing nasty posts. I mean, really, Golf Channel could have split the screen.
Yeah.
They could have split the screen, and if they felt like they absolutely had to cover that nonsense, they could have done it with the split screen, because Judy Rankin was on the air. She was ready to go, and we were all poised. We had all planned our Sunday dinners around this. Hundreds of thousands of us. I'm telling you, it was the tragedy that I went through on Sunday.
She's scarred for life.
I am scarred for life. My Twitter account practically caught on fire. I got like 10 or 15 new Twitter followers because of what I was saying about Golf Channel on Twitter. I was being retweeted. I have new followers, and everybody agreed with me. We wanted to bomb Golf Channel.
Awesome. I can't follow that. Oh, that was awesome. So, dear. St. Andrews Golf Magazine does not want to bomb the Golf Channel.
Yes, no, I understand that, yes. and neither does Pro Golf now. And I understand that I'm probably going to be stalked now by, INS or whoever is monitoring this. I wouldn't bomb the Golf Channel either. I retract that statement.
Oh, that's brilliant. I think there's just a lot of people out there would agree with you that the senior tour is, it's kind of like nobody cares. I mean, it's hard to get people to care about the LPGA and the PGA right now, let alone the senior tour. Now, when Tiger gets on the senior tour,
oh my goodness, we'll never see the regular.
Did anybody watch the coverage that the Golf Channel had on Friday of the Congressional?
No.
The combined score and they showed every shot of the group with Tiger, and he played with Jordan Spieth, and who else he played with?
I cannot remember.
They were 14 over par. They were 14 over par, and only Spieth made the cut. But they followed every shot. Once in a while, they'd show you a shot of somebody that was actually leading the tournament or up close to the top of the tournament if they made a good shot. But we even had discussions about that kind of showed just a whole lot of disrespect for I mean, you're following
appalling.
You're following a group that Tiger can't hit a shot that most amateurs can't hit, and they're following them and got some pretty good good players up toward the top of the leaderboard that should be on TV, but they didn't. The whole Friday broadcast was nothing but Tiger and Jordan Spieth, and I can't remember who they played with. But Jason Day, and Jason Day didn't make the cut either.
That is what we've discussed at length before about golf needing to produce new stars and showcase our great players, and all we're doing is pandering to the casual golf fan who wants to see Tiger Woods, no matter if he's playing like an idiot. It's ridiculous.
I've answered questions on. I had somebody respond or comment on one of my blogs last week, and he said, "Well, Tiger's not playing, so I don't watch." Ricky Potts on the golf community. Tiger's not playing, I'm not watching. Oh, okay. And you're running the golf community. I mean, show an example, or step up and be the moderator of the golf community. Whether here he comes.
There's a message.
Oh.
Who's that message?
Oh.
Me.
I got it.
It's from Elizabeth. Yes.
Yeah. I think her stomach's growling. She wants to eat.
So is mine. I haven't eaten since 7 o'clock this morning. Anyway, it's been a great conversation as ever, and it was a fantastic couple of weeks for both myself and Elizabeth at various different events, and hopefully this week coming up with the French Open and the the Greenbrier tournament, we'll have another great week. And we'll be back.
You've got the Ladies European Masters also.
Yes, the Ladies European Masters, which is followed by the Women's British Open next week.
Yeah.
And we'll have a special preview to that next Tuesday night at our regular time of 9 o'clock in the UK, 4 p.m. in the US.
All right.
So, from myself, Les, and Elizabeth, that is good night.
Cheers.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.